Hello, everyone. How is everyone doing? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me so we can get started right away. Okay. Hey, Carter. So, Carter is the moderator right now. Everyone, thank you so much. Okay. Just want to make sure everyone can hear me. Okay, great. Let me just slow this down. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. I want to tell everyone thank you so much for joining me. Guys, just to let you know, I renamed the channel BSU, Black Sunrise Spiritual University. BSU. The website is still blacksunrise.com, and not everyone here is GBF. We have people from all over the world, different skin colors, different backgrounds, and I'm here to help whoever needs it as long as they're respectful. If they're not respectful, I'm not helping you. So let's just keep this in mind, okay? All right, that's the opening. Number two, tonight's discussion is micro business strategy. Now, many of you have been with me, and I want to get started right away. Let me just send out just one more notification. Okay. One second. Okay, wonderful. Okay, so here we are. All right, Ronald, hi. E. Carter, hi. Isaac, hi. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, so we're live. Today is the micro business e-course. Okay, now, those of you who've been following me, who were following me for a long time, 5 years ago, I created a type of business. Okay, I saw that the US economy was favorable to small businesses or small to medium enterprises, what they call SMEs. And then they grew from there, like Fortune 500, Fortune 1000, multinationals, etc. Okay. And I did that. I'm just giving you a quick background, and this would allow for time for people to come in, right? And I did that while I was studying. I was studying business, right? I saw that there was a huge gap in the market. But not only was there a huge gap in the market, but my spirit was telling me that something was coming, and that something was highly unusual. Okay? It was something coming, and it was something highly unusual that people would need to prepare for. Okay? So I followed my spirit while I was in school, while I was working, and Avion, welcome. I created a micro business model. I saw when I was in school that I literally took small business management, and I saw that the training was excellent. Everything we learned was on point and was excellent, and it was great. But multiple times I asked myself as a person, I said, if this is someone's first time going into business, their first time, would they be able to manage this amount of overhead? When to break even, starting as a small business, to break even would mean that they would have to basically earn what they're putting out. And in the United States at that time, about 5 years ago, to start a small business, you're looking at $250,000. Okay, especially if you're dealing with brick and mortar. So I began asking myself some questions, and I said to myself, I said, look, I said, when I looked at the business playing field, and I knew most people did not want to start using a micro strategy. Okay. But a micro strategy is where I knew most would feel better. They would feel more at ease beginning. Okay. Because the learning curve with a micro strategy is much easier. Okay. The math is simpler. The accounting is simpler, and you don't even have to do any accounting. The accounting can be done using certain software. Okay, like PayPal for Business does all the accounting for you. Okay, so what I did, I'm not doing small business. Hi Malik, thank you Ronald for that comment. I'm not doing small businesses. It's a micro strategy. So let's get the language correct. There is SMEs, which is small to medium enterprises. There's Fortune 500s, Fortune 1000s, there's private businesses, there's public, there's NGO. I don't do that. I do a micro business model, right? And a micro business model is you're literally starting at a fraction of the cost. So I look for businesses that I look for strategies or entrant points with which you can enter. Okay? Points with which you could start a business with literally hundreds of dollars. Okay? Not thousands, not hundreds of thousands, hundreds. The thing is, I did it 5 years ago. Ronald, yep, I have a bachelor's in business administration as well. Okay. And although I think it's great, I think for the average person, I think it's way over their head. And I'm not undermining the average person. I'm saying it might be wiser for them to start with a micro model. Let me continue. Okay. So this was while I was in school. So what I did is I began to do the research to structure. Hold on. One second here. Okay. So I began to structure what a micro business model would look like. And the most important thing you need to understand is a micro business model is you can start it from home. You could start it using a cell phone. Okay. So a micro business model is a mobile business. It's a business that you can start using your cell phone. Okay. All right. So that's the first thing we have to examine. Okay. Let me focus on what I need to do because I'm getting text messages and stuff like that. I'll take care of that later. So tonight we're going to look at 5 points, okay, that's in the micro business course and the marketing. We're just going to look at 5 things, okay? And these are 5 bedrock things that I put into the course. And one of them, I'm going to show you which one, I saw circulating all over social media. And I find that very interesting because I never gave anyone permission to put that sample from my MBE, my micro business enterprise, my micro business Ecourse. I never gave anyone permission to put that online. And I saw that after I launched the micro business, I saw that slide, and a lot of social media influencers who are into business and in coaching and stuff like that use that metric for teaching people how to grow their business. And I'm like, okay, where did you guys get that from? Because I've been on social media for how long? I never saw anyone use that. And no one ever referenced where they got it from. So going forward, whatever you see here that I'm sharing publicly, I don't mind if it's shared publicly. But I do mind if you don't reference where it's coming from. All right, so we're going to get started right away because it's a lot of things we need to cover, and it's important that we get started right away. All right, so guys, I want to tell everyone thank you. Actually, before we get started, let me just okay, so if you'd like to purchase the microbusiness e-course, once you make the payment, I add you to the Drive link. Okay, so you can purchase it via PayPal. Okay, or you can do it via Cash App. And I add you to the Drive link, so make sure you email me. Okay, so you can purchase it via PayPal or Cash App, and it's a bundle. You get 2 for the price of 1. It's the microbusiness e-course, and it's the microbusiness marketing, and it looks at literally 50. One is about 50 different micro businesses you can start for a couple $100. Some of them is a little bit more. You need some money going in, but it's not a ridiculous amount of money. Okay. The marketing looks at micro business models in the United States, in Africa, and in the Caribbean. Okay. So these are the 3 regions it looks at, the best places to have it. And it looks at multiple different ways you could set up these business. And it does the research for you. Okay? Because research is important. Or it tells you how to conduct the research. Now, granted, I know it needs to be updated, and I will update it. All he needs is an email. That's it. Avion, great question. All I need, preferably a Gmail, all I need is his, once you pay for it, send me his email and he'll have access to it on his phone. Once he gets the link, he can open it and he can read. That's it. I'm not doing it via my website. If I do it via my website, then you won't be able to travel. Okay? If I do it attaching you to the link, then you'd be able to take it anywhere while you're traveling, while you're at the beach, anywhere, and you can just read it and apply the information. Okay? And the cost is, by the way, the Caribbean is a great place for a micro business model. Africa, I think, is one of the best places for a micro business model, but the key to this is either micro business or micro investing. The key is this: the Caribbean or Latin America and Africa and Asia, parts of Asia, are the best places for the micro business model. Why is that? Because it's a low cost to start. But the key going in, if you're doing micro investing or micro business, you got to find the right people. Okay, keep that in mind. All right, great. So we're not going to do it via the website, because if you take the training, listen carefully, I have to repeat myself. If you take the training on the website, you can pay via the website, that's fine. You would not be able to take it with you everywhere you go. You'd have to sit at a computer and do it. Whereas if you pay for it via PayPal or Cash App or Venmo, whatever, you could download it on your phone, and wherever you go, you can just take your phone and you can study. All right? Okay, let's get started. So the first thing we're going to look at when you're understanding, or when you're attempting to understand a micro business model, is you need to know your mix. Okay? You need to know your matrix, your market matrix. And I did all of this for you. Okay? Just give me 1 second here. Let me just share the screen. Share screen. Okay, Chrome tab. Okay, entire screen. Let's just share it right now. Okay, great. We are sharing the screen. And that yellow screen is not me. That's the demons on these networks doing this. Okay? That's not me. That's these devils on these networks because they have nothing better to do with their miserable lives. Really. They really don't have anything better to do with their lives. Okay. So we're looking at the screen, right? So the first technique that I teach you guys, and these 5 points are points that I'm showing you that's in the course, but I'm going to explain to you how to utilize this and when to utilize this. Okay? All right. So, and this is what I did for you. I already did this for you so you don't have to do it. Okay? I did all the hard work and the labor for you. You just apply using the techniques. All right? So let's get started. So when you're dealing with a micro business, because you're not starting off as a small business, okay? Small business, you have to be incorporated. You usually have, you're usually starting at over $10,000. If you're an online business, you're probably tens of thousands of dollars. If you're a mom and pop, if you're a brick and mortar, it's way more, okay? So with a micro business model, what I did is I broke down products into 3 categories. Why did I do that? To make it easier for you. I did all the groundwork for you in this e-course because your market matrix will help you to find your customers and would also position you into knowing your product or your service. And what I did is I wanted you to make your product or service resistant to external forces. You understand what I'm saying? Like lockdowns. I did all of this before COVID. And I told people to prepare for COVID using this methodology. Because had they done this, they would have been able to see, look, if they needed to diversify and what direction to go in. I'll be quick. So what I did is I used a market matrix and I divided products and services into 3 categories to make it easier for you to find your product or your service that you are good in. Needs, wants, and luxuries. That's what I classified them as. Needs, wants, and luxuries. Why? If you understand the market matrix of your product, you would be able to determine if your product is resistant and how resistant it is to external forces. What do I mean? If you have a luxury product, let's say a luxury product is a clothing line, okay? And it's luxury clothing. In an economic crash, how many people do you think you'll be able to retain the types of sales you need with luxury brands to stay open in an economic crash? What do you think? Is anyone there? Can you guys hear me? Yes, Isaac, I did. And how many people took the course? This is 5 years ago. And how many people followed through? I know of a handful of people. There were quite a few people who took the course, but how many followed through? I know of a handful of people who followed up with me because they followed through and they were all successful. Okay? All right. So, needs, wants, luxuries. Okay? Needs, wants, luxuries. Needs. I did the hard work for you. I outlined, if you're creating a product, you want your product need specific. Okay? The best product you want is something that people need, what they call a necessity, meaning I cannot go 24 hours without it. For example, toothpaste, body wash, body lotion, deodorant, food. Are you following? Water, certain household cleaners, transportation, healthcare. For some people, books, toiletries, feminine products. Okay? Needs. If you're starting a business, one of the best categories to be in is a need-based business. However, need-based products, okay, have high saturated markets. It's very difficult to enter and it's very difficult to profit. But with a micro strategy, it is easier for you to enter that market, create a clientele that's specific to your product that can help you enter the market. The next one is want. After need is want. After your basic needs are met is what you want, right? You can do your hair or you can have your hair did. You understand what I'm saying? You're following? So beauty, fragrances, gum, tobacco, hemp, alcohol beverages, apparel that is above and beyond your necessities, toys, contracting services, website services, cleaning services, landscaping services are all under wants. Then you get into luxuries. Okay? And I list them. So the first thing you need to know when you're starting a micro business, okay? And these are things people don't tell you. These 3 categories, they don't tell you. And this is why I'm telling you. You want to make sure you know the market matrix of where your product or service falls. If it falls in a need, a want, or a luxury. Why? Because you need that category to be resistant to economic forces. That is, external forces. Yep, with your business, right? Is everyone following? All right, Isaac, great job. Regina, welcome. Is everyone following? Donovan, welcome. Is everyone following? And guys, just ignore that orange peachish color because that's them playing the fool and doing stupid stuff. Okay, so that's the first technique I teach you. Another technique I'm going to show you, and it's not in this one. Okay, the other technique that you need to be aware of, and it's not in this one, is the platform matrix. How do you want the business structure? If it's a micro business structure in the United States, it's gonna be online. If you're in a developing country, guys, do not look down at developing countries, especially if you're going back to start traveling. Developing countries, in the right country, micro businesses, you can become a multimillionaire in that country. Okay? And I'm being serious. And there are a number of cases that I looked at where they used the micro business strategy and they implemented good business policies. And today, those very people who utilized the micro business strategy were multimillionaires today. One of them was a guy. He went to school and he studied to get into engineering for the oil refiner for oil and gas in Nigeria. He graduated, couldn't find a job, but he was very industrious. And what he did is he started baking cupcakes. Cupcakes. Listen, cupcakes. Okay, this is a case study. So what did he do? He said, okay, cupcakes. When I was in school, those college students are always hungry. He said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my cupcakes at home. I'm going to build myself a little cupcake trolley, and I'm going to go sell by the universities. And I know what time they'll be out because I was a student there. And while they were at school, he would sell his cupcakes. And he noticed the first day he sold his cupcakes, all the cupcakes were gone. Meanwhile, he was an engineer, couldn't find work, but he never gave up, right? All the cupcakes went. So he said, okay, I need to make more. And he did the same thing every day. Within 2 years, the man went from selling cupcakes, okay, reinvesting the money back into his business. Then he began to do the investing strategy where he shifted from a micro business model to a micro investing strategy where he paid people to go sell his cupcakes. And then he was able to franchise out. Today, the man is a multimillionaire. Okay? Multimillionaire. Number 2, there was another case. Another case study was a young African guy. He had no education. Okay? He had no education. However, he was another industrious young man. So guys, do not look down on a micro business strategy, especially if you want to travel. And he saw that there were a lot of rubber tires. He noticed that the rubber slippers that they would wear never lasted. They were poor quality and they never lasted. So what he did is he went and he got some training on how to cut the rubber and how to make slippers. When he began to sell his slippers, the people commented that the slippers, his slippers, made from reusable rubber tires, lasted longer than the factory producing slippers. Do you know that young man is a multimillionaire today? Okay. The third case study was a young man. He sold puff puffs. Okay. We call puff puffs, I forgot, pylori. We call it pylori. In Africa, they call it puff puff, right? These are little puffy little balls. I think the Jamaican call it bread something, round bread. I can't remember. The little round bread thing. Okay? Now, when they started, everyone laughed at them and looked down on them. Okay? Oh, look at you, you're hawker, you're this, you're that, you're... But listen, all of them today are multimillionaires today. He started selling puff puffs. What he did is every time he made his money, he re-strategized. Then he got a group of people. He said, okay, you go there, you sell over there, you sell over there, you sell over there, you sell over there. Within, I think that this young man, 5 years, he became a multimillionaire. Okay? Do not underestimate a micro business strategy, especially a micro business strategy with the right people in the right place, right? So that's technique number 1, needs, wants, luxuries, okay? Technique number 2. Okay, let me just find this really quickly. I'm sorry. Technique number 2 that I'm going to teach you about a micro strategy. Sorry about that. Let's get the right link here. And I'm doing this again. Okay? Most people, most influencers are not going to give you, this kind of meat for free. I'm like, guys, I'm doing this because I want you to succeed. And I want to show you how to succeed. This is a simple math formula. It's as simple as it can get. It's a simple sales strategy breakdown. It's the second most important technique you need in your micro business. Okay? And I'm going to show you how to use it. This math breakdown was created by me. I've never seen this anywhere. Somehow it got leaked online, and I started to see influencers using this model to sell their products. And I'm like, that's interesting. Where did you guys get that breakdown from? No one ever referenced where it came from. Whatever. It came from me, and it was developed over about 5 years ago. It's a very simple breakdown. Your products, you're going to move per month. Why? Because if you're in a micro business, right? If you're using a micro business model, the goal is to find the path of least resistance, meaning you're not going to be spending money on ad campaign, trial and testing things and losing money you don't have. Okay? And in order to do that, you need simple, doable numbers. Okay? Very simple numbers. So, for example, if your sales goal, because it's a micro strategy, and the goal of a micro strategy is this: I want to make my first 1,000. Okay? On my own. I want to make my first 2,000 or 3,000 or 5,000 on my own. You understand? The question is, how are you going to do it? And in order to do it, you need to look at simple numerical calculations. And I did it for you. Okay? If you're trying to reach a goal right here, top left, of $1,000, okay? Let's say it's your first micro business. The reason why I did this is that you're not trial and testing and wasting money on campaigns and funnels and this that you don't know if it works. You need things simple and easy to do. And I'm going to show you how to do it. If you want to make your first 1,000, and I just did it for the year, you could do this for your first 1,000 a month, and then you break down your product per week. But I just did it for a year to make it simple. Your first 1,000, your first year, which is nothing, but it allows you to see what works. Okay? And your product is set at $9.99. Okay? In order for you to get to $1,000 a year, which is nothing, and with a price of $9.99, right? You got to push 100 products, 100 products per year. If I told you 100 products per year off the bat, many of you would panic. But if I were to tell you that's 8.3 products per month, are you beginning to see that you can do it? Is everyone following? Is everyone following? Can you see how simple this is? Can you see how easy this is to achieve? Let me show you again. If I were to tell you, I want you to sell 100 products and you've never done it before, 100 products in a year, most of you would panic because you see 100 products, right? And your goal is $1,000. Okay? But if I showed you how to do it, which is what I did, when you go online and you see people post the sales matrix, understand this simple, effective sales matrix was created by me over 5 years ago. Okay? They just never referenced where it came from. And I said, you know what? Don't stress it. I don't let things stress me. Okay? But if I said to you, hey, 8.3 products will get you that $1,000. You could do this in a month. Okay? If you want to make 2,500, that's 20 products in a month per year. Granted, you want to make that in a day. Okay? It's a micro business strategy. The goal of a micro business strategy is to find out what works before you scale. Is everyone in the building? Let me continue. If you want to move 350 products a year at $9.99, you got to sell 30 products a month. If you want to move 500 products a year to make $5,000 at $9.99, you got to sell 42 products a month. Okay? Let's say your price is not $99, it's $24.99, $25, right? If you want to make $1,000, $25, okay? You got to move 40 products a year. You know how much you have to sell in a month? 4 products a month at $25. Is it beginning to make sense why the most effective model for someone new to business is a micro business strategy? Once you've mastered the technique of going from 1,000 to 2,000 to 5,000 to 10,000, you can begin to scale up. You don't stay at a micro business model. You use it as a learning curve without you spending money on exotic advertising or this or that, even though the advertising is in the training, it's in the course, it's in the book, it's in there. But it teaches you the practicality of what you need to sell. How many of you can sell 4 products in 30 days? Show of hands. How many of you can sell 4 products in 30 days at $25? All of you. You following? All of you. Right? If you want to make an additional $5,000 a year, which is nothing, but it's a start for some who's new to running their own business, you're not going to get to 6 figures because many people want to start off at 6 and 7 figures and they can't even manage 3 figures. They can't even make 3 figures on their own. If you want to get to 6 figures, you got to know how to get to 4 figures, 5 figures. It's a process, right? So if you want to make $5,000, an additional $5,000 a year using a micro business strategy, okay, at a product that's $25, that's 200 products a year, it's 17 products you have to sell a month. Now, the beautiful thing about this strategy, okay, now I priced the strategy according to the year, which is you're moving 100 products a year, right? But you can take the same simple strategy. So instead, when you begin to scale, instead of you doing 100 products a year, you do 100 products a month. And then you break down what you would need to spend, what you would need to sell to get to 100 products a month, a month. Okay? So it'd be $10 10 products. Are you understanding? Are you following? Same thing. You use the same model. So instead of additional $1,000 a year, when you get the hang of how your business operates and the process, this is a process I'm showing you. And this is something that is very expensive for new entrants into business. When people are new to business, processes are one of the most expensive things you're going to encounter. And what I did is I got rid of all the processes. I made it simple, brass tacks, down to the dirt. Okay? So if you want to get to, 100 products a month at $10, 10 products, 10, 10. Okay? 10, 10. There you go. Are you following? And on and on and on. This one is if your product is $49.99. In order for you to get to 1,000 sales a year, $1,000 a year, which is nothing, okay, it's 20 products a year. It's 1 to 2 products a month. If your product is $50 and you want to make an additional $1,000 a year, okay, you're moving 20 products a year, and that is 2 products, 1.6, 2 products a month. If you want to make an additional $5,000 a year at $50, you're moving 100 products a year. Per month, that's 8.3 products you're selling. Are you beginning to understand why, if you're new to business, a micro business strategy is one of the most effective things you can do? Let's do the last one, because I think you guys got it. Let me show you some even more. Don't be afraid of higher price points. Okay? Don't be afraid of higher price points. One second. One second here. Okay. Okay. But if you're going with a higher price points, make sure you know your customer, because if they don't know you, they're not going to hand over $100. Make sure they know you and they know your character. But don't be afraid of higher price points. Okay. Using a micro business strategy. You just have to really know your customer. Okay. All right. So let's say, and I'm going to get off this topic. Let's say your price is $99.99. Okay. And you're trying to make an additional $1,000 a year, which is nothing. But remember, the micro business strategy is teaching you the process. It's allowing you to refine, try, experiment, refine, and find your process that works. Okay. You have to move 10 products a year. 10 products a year. That's 1 product you have to sell a month. Is everyone in the building? If your product is $99.99 and you're trying to earn an additional $5,000 a year, okay, you have to move 50 products a year. That's 4.2 products a month. Are you guys beginning to see how simple this is? Can you guys see how simple this is? Type yes or no if you understand. Let me know if you understand. I want to make sure you understand. Let me know if you understand. Wow, this is really slower. Okay, great. Anybody else? Nobody else? Okay, let's continue. And then I'm going to get off this topic because I think you guys get the gist of it. Let's say, do not be afraid of higher price points, needs, wants, luxuries. All right, and I'm getting off of this topic very soon. Let's say a price point is $500, the red. How many products do you have to sell a year in order for you to reach your sales goal of 1,000? You know how many you have to sell? 2. Don't be afraid of higher price points. But the higher your price points, the more intimate you should know your customer. Okay? Meaning the higher you price something, the more intimacy, the more business intimacy you have with your customer. And I don't mean sex. Okay? They're going to price something at $4.99. That customer needs to have a little bit more access to you. It can be done, but you need more business intimacy where the customer knows you, they trust you, and they say, this is good people. They'll hand over whatever it takes. Okay? 2, products. Do you want to know how many products a year for you to earn an additional $5,000 a year using a micro business strategy? How many products you have to sell a year to earn 5,000? 10. 10 products. Okay, let me get to the last one and then we're going to move on. Let's say your price point is $1,000. And don't underestimate yourself, because $1,000 is a price point and it's still a micro business strategy. Okay, now you don't have to move it in a year. I just did it as a year for the person to get the hang and learn the process for their business. Because you're not going to sell unless there's a process. And what I did is I tried to fine-tune the ebb and flow to help you find your process, because business processes cost. This is as simple as possible. Let's say you want to earn an additional $1,000 a year. Your price point is $999.99. You got to sell one product for $1,000 to make a $1,000 sale. To make a $5,000 sale in 365 days, you sell 5. Selling 5 products at $1,000 in 365 days. Do you think you can do that? You can do that. Sevens boy, welcome. Chemistry, welcome. No sound. You got to go out and come back in. Can you guys hear me? Sevens boy, welcome. Can everyone hear me? Okay. Okay, let's continue. Simple. We keep things very simple here, and I show you. So those are the techniques. Now, let me show you this. You can go with a lower price point. And let me show you some simple math. Okay? You have 100 people. I'm going to type it up. Let me mute my mic for a second. Okay? Look at that math on the screen for 1 second. Okay? If you have 100 people at $1, your product is $1, you have 100 people, and you get 100 people to give you $1, you just got $100. Don't think you have to price all the way up to achieve your objectives with a micro business course. You could price all the way down and use economies of scale to make the same amount. Are you following? Because many people think, oh, I have to price all the way up for me to get. No. You can do a low price point and achieve the same objective using economies of scale, a larger audience. If you have 1,000 people and 1,000 people give you $1, you now have $1,000. If you have 10,000 people and they give you $1, you now have $10,000. So don't think if your product is not, oh, my product is the $500 and $1,000 and this and that. Oh, I don't know. Nope. Your product could be $1 damn dollar. $1. You follow me? Thank you, T. Gordon. Your product could be $1 and you achieve the same objective. Are you following? Okay, that's technique number 2. These are not all the techniques, but I'm giving you the basic techniques for you to understand. Technique number 3 is your ecosystem. Okay, I'm not going to go into too much detail about your ecosystem, but you need to know your ecosystem. And as a micro business, your ecosystem is how you get your products and your relationship with your customer. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. Okay? Number 4, the beauty of a micro business is this. And this is what makes a micro business, starting off, not when you're scaling, when you're starting. This is what makes a micro business superior. And I think I'm done with the slides. So let me close this out. This is what makes a micro business strategy superior. Let me stop sharing the screen. I'm sorry, 1 second here. What makes a micro business strategy as an entrant into the business market far superior than a small business. Okay. Not only do you have a greater learning curve than small businesses. Remember, small businesses fail. 85% of them fail in 5 years. A micro business strategy, so far, of the people that actually executed it, they are scaling up. Okay? So never downplay a micro business strategy. Okay? As an entrance. Okay? After you do a micro business, then you scale to a small business. Then you scale to a medium, and then you scale and you scale and you scale. Okay. Now, one of the things, and I'm going to wrap it up with this, and I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to give you the best piece of advice you ever going to hear for a sole proprietorship. Best piece of advice. I'm going to give it to you right here, right now. Okay. Utilize this information. When you structure a micro business, let me show you why it's superior to a small business. If you're running a small business, you're probably working 14 hours a day, maybe more. And your business is probably opened 5-6 days a week. And I'm not downplaying small businesses. They are the engine that makes America work. But how many of you have that time, the energy, or the skill to do that? Okay? It takes a lot of skill, and most fail in 5 years. Okay? And if you fail with a small business, those monies, more than likely, you have to pay it back. With a micro business, unless you take out micro loans or family members gave you like micro funding, it's not a lot to pay back. You don't have a lot of overhead. Now, what makes it superior is this. You can start a micro business while you're in school and while you are working full time. Did anyone hear what I just said? And if you know your customers, which I teach you how to do, okay? I told you I teach you how to get customers, which is what most people don't tell you, how to get customers. I tell you how to do it. It's easy. If you're not on social media, even if you don't show your face, you don't have to show your face. You have to be credible. And when people give you money, when people pay for a service or a product, you have to show up. Honesty. That's it. No out here scamming people. Okay? Ruining people and ruining your reputation and always have an excuse as to why you can't deliver. Run from people like that. Okay? They're hacks and scammers. Micro businesses. This is something every business owner will tell you 1,000,001 words about. The sleepless nights and the days they have to remain open. And days they are open and no one coming in. And all they think every time no one comes in is the bills that pile up. You want to start a micro business because it allows you to create your own schedule. If you work 9 to 5, you could run your micro business in the evening. You can do your deliveries on a Saturday. Hello. You can run your micro business on the weekends. Remember, you have a personal relationship with your customers. And you can start a micro business using Dollar Tree, the dollar store, well, the $1.50 store now with inflation. Do you know that? Do you know you can resell dollar store items and start a micro business? Or you can repurpose, meaning you can buy something from the dollar store, make them look better, make it unique, and then repurpose it and sell it. Okay? Understand, you can run it Saturdays and Sundays if you work Monday to Fridays. If you work nighttime, you can structure it in the day. If you work day, you can structure it at night. Don't be afraid to provide free services. And the best free service is information. I give out free information whether or not people participate. I give people information free. I make videos free. And in the majority of my videos, I don't tell you guys to support me. Okay? Always give out free information. Free information doesn't cost you anything and it helps you to build a following. That's one of the keys. That's number 4. And number 5, this one I'm going to give out free. When you start your micro business, okay? You're not a small business. If you go the incorporation route, you're going to have to spend money, people. But if you go the micro business route, you can start it as a sole proprietorship. I'm going to give you a piece of information that's going to save you a whole lot of time and a whole lot of energy. Do you have your pen and papers? Because you better be serious about this. Okay. Let me tell you what you do. All you need for your micro business is an EIN, which is free. Do not let anyone charge you to get an EIN from the IRS. It's free. You don't have to incorporate, just run as a sole proprietorship. The thing is, you won't get funding, but I'm going to teach you a trick for free because I want you to succeed. Do you know what you do? You open 2 checkings accounts. Okay? Did anyone hear what I just said? You have a listen, let me repeat myself. You don't have to incorporate with a micro business strategy, okay? Because you don't want the additional overhead, the additional expenses. You want to refine your processes first. Don't go spending a ton of money trying to get the answers, okay? Get the answers spending the least amount of money possible. And when you begin to scale, then you spend more money, okay, to do what you need to do. All right? Let me tell you. Thank you, Queen. You get your EIN from the IRS for free. Do not let anyone charge you to get an EIN. Your business, name your business, whatever it is, as a sole proprietorship under your EIN. Let me show you a hack. When it comes to your banking, listen carefully because I'm going to show you this for the future because your goal is to scale and incorporate. Here is what you do, okay? You have 2 checkings accounts. One account for your personal checking and then another account for the business. I'm telling you this for a reason, okay? The checking account for the business, you're not going to open it under your business name because you're not incorporated. The bank is not going to do it. Make sure you understand what I'm saying. It's a personal checking account. You're just going to have 2, but one of them is going to be strictly for your sole proprietorship. It's going to be under your name, but you're going to use it for your sole proprietorship. And what you're going to do is you, in that checking account that you're going to do business transaction for your business, it's nothing personal with your finances will be used for that checking account. Did anyone hear what I just said? Thank you, T. Gordon. You can go to the website and look at the reviews. You probably purchased it and I send it. Herbs-page. Okay? Press 1 if you understood what I said because I want to wrap up. I don't want to be longer than an hour. Press 1 if you understood what I just said. This is the most important thing because I'm showing you something because I'm preparing you for when you succeed using the micro business strategy. When you decide to scale, you have business records that would allow any institute that wants to see business transactions using your banking records, they have it, even though you were a sole proprietorship. You were a sole proprietorship. Does everyone understand? Okay, let me repeat it again. And that's the last thing, and then I'm done because I don't want to be on here long. You get your EIN. You're not incorporating because that's money. Okay, you have your business name. Sam's Bakery. Okay, you do not open a business checking account because you're not incorporated. What you do is you open 2 personal checking accounts. You have your personal checking account for your personal life, and then you have a personal checking account for your sole proprietorship. Did anyone hear what I just said? You can't miss this. And I'm telling you this for a reason. You keep the 2 separate. Okay? I'm telling you this. Here is a trick I'm going to teach you. Okay? And I had to learn this. What you do is when the business begins to make whatever sales, okay, you take a portion of that and you put it in the checking account to the business. Okay? It's a personal checking account, but you're just using it for business transactions. You following? You know why? Because when you begin to scale and you incorporate, okay, and you begin to look for funding, they're going to see, hold on, this person has a checking account they were doing business in, and they can look at what you did with the funds. Listen, I just saved you guys about 5 years of knowledge. Okay? Are you following? You keep 2 checking accounts, personal checking accounts. 1 for your personal finances and 1 personal checking account for the sole proprietorship because you're not incorporated. Let me say it again. The personal account for the sole proprietorship, only business transactions there. And whenever you make a sale, you deposit it into there immediately. You deposit a portion of the funds there, okay? And you keep depositing it into that. Then, listen, all the business expenses, if you have a website, okay, or whatever your products, okay? Okay, wonderful, Queen. That's great. So everything pertaining to the business, you already have an LLC. So what you need to do is you need to build business credit, Isaac. So you could still be a micro business, but you're on the way to build you need to be building business credit. Okay, since you have an LLC, right? This is for sole proprietorship, micro business entrance. You didn't formulate your business, you didn't incorporate none of that, right? So here's what you do inside of that sole proprietorship business checking account. Sole proprietorship personal checking account you're going to use for business. Every expense that you have for the business, you pay it out of that account. When you scale up, listen carefully, when you scale up, trust me, and you go and apply for funding, they're going to say, okay, we need to see your business transactions, your business account. They're going to see all of that business transactions that has no relationship to your personal finances and what you were doing and for how many years. You understand? You're already going to have it there building up without a business checking account. And then when you go to get your business checking account, you already have that history. Okay? So that's strategy number 5, right? Okay. Now, did everyone learn what they needed to learn today? Press yes if you learned something new today. Okay? To purchase the bundle, the Ecourse bundle, both the micro business enterprise course and the marketing course, which is only $10, Okay? You can use that link, that PayPal link, or you can use the Cash App link. And the Cash App is this. And that's it. Okay? So guys, I did most of the work for you. You got to get up and get. Not only that, I tried to make this course as affordable as possible so you guys can get it. Not only that, I outlined the processes for you from how to set up your because most people don't like paperwork. In the course, it tells you how to set up your office, even if it's in a corner. Okay? It tells you everything you need to do and your process. Most importantly, it breaks down your numbers. Because having a nice office, none of that means nothing if you're not selling. It breaks down your numbers. Yeah? No, Donovan, you have 2 checkings accounts. 2 personal checkings accounts. Not 3, 2. 2. Yes, Kim, of course. It's going to be on, it's going to be on all the links. Absolutely. You'll be able to listen to this afterwards, right? You guys have any questions? Chemistry. I love that. Absolutely, you'll be able to listen to this afterwards. Yes. And once you make the purchase, it's just $10. You'll have links to the course. I'll send you the Drive link to add you. No, it's not 3 accounts. It's 2 accounts. One is your personal account. Regina, you're welcome. And then the second one is your personal account. It's 2 personal accounts, but one you're using for the business because you're not incorporated. If you're incorporated, you have to open a business checking account. What I'm doing is I'm fast tracking you and showing you another way to do things so that you can have a business record of business transactions. Okay? You don't want to be building up business transactions for 5 years and then you incorporate and then it's like, no, none of that means anything. No, you want that history. You want that business history of how you managed your money and you want to be able to show that. And I'm showing you how to do it in a very simple and easy way. Of course, in the same bank. Yeah. If you want, you open it up in another bank. The point is, you're going to keep a personal checking account for personal, and you're going to keep a personal checking account for the sole proprietorship. Okay? And what you want to do is you want to keep, when you make your sales, you just want to put it in there. And then what you do is all your expenses for your micro business, you link it to that account. All the expenses will be paid through that account. So that way you have a history of business transactions. So when you incorporate, because you're ready to scale, you have that history. And that history will not be lost. Are you guys following? Isaac, you're already an LLC. What you need to do is build business credit. That's where you are. You're already an LLC. This is for people who are not LLCs and they're just starting. Right? Any other questions? Because it's 1:13 already and I want to get out of here. Any other questions? Yes, you will be able to view this afterwards at the links provided. Anybody else? Okay, do you guys know where to find the class? Donovan, after you incorporate and you open a business checking account, you no longer need the account for the sole proprietorship. You can close it. Donovan, let me know if you understand what I'm saying. The purpose of a micro business is to test your feet in the business world to see if you have what it takes to run your own business. Most people think they do, and then they find out it's way more difficult than they realize. If you go the standard business, which is incorporate and yada, 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 understand that most businesses fail in 5 years. Regina, once you make payment, and I'm going to post the link. Okay. Regina, I'm posting the link now. Once you make that payment, okay, it's $10. Once you email me here, after payment, I will add you to the drive, and you will have access to both the micro business course and the micro business marketing course. Okay? And I'll tell you the reason why I did that. Isaac, thank you. And I'm very proud of you that you made it this far. Now, what you need to do, Isaac, is study business funding. That's what you need to do because you already incorporated now business funding, how to fund your business. That's where you are. This is for people who don't have a clue. And I'm trying to save them time, energy, and money. Okay? I'm going to tell you something. When you are a regular business, and I'm going to stop. If you have questions, ask me now because I want to get off of here in 4 minutes. You have a tendency when you see you're not making a lot of sales, you have a tendency to start spending. I don't want you to do that. Okay, because they equate, okay, spending, if I spend money here and there and there, I've seen this. If I spend this and the next best thing, oh, the next best thing is this, and the next best thing is that. No. Stay calm. Stay calm. Don't spend what you don't have. What I teach you to do is simply this. With little money, find your process for your business. Very little money, find your process. In order to find your process, you got to find your customer. In order to find your customer, you got to let people know you exist. And once they know you exist and they know you have a product and they buy the product, you need to know why they buy the product. You know why people buy products? Trust. 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 That's it. They trust you. Okay? They trust you. They trust you that you said, you mean what you said. And they trust you that you're going to deliver. Okay? Right? So back to the question, Donovan. I hope I answered it. Let me just be very quick. Okay? So micro business, you're not incorporated, you don't have a business bank account. Okay? This Google Pay, if you want to get the course, you can Google Pay it, but you can just Cash App or PayPal. That's easier. Okay? And I'm just formulating the BSU. Okay, I've been Black Sunrise for how many years? I'm formulating the BSU and I'm going to be updating the website to BSU. The website name is going to remain the same. I think you got the answer. All right, guys. So, guys, again, please don't wait 5 years for something else to happen and then be like, didn't Renetta tell us this was going to happen? And she told us to prepare. Guys, prepare. Okay? Love you guys. Thank you for being here. I don't want to be longer than an hour and 20 minutes because I want to make these things shorter. Okay, guys? So you can rewatch the links. Thank you. You have a wonderful evening. And get the course. It's $10 for 2 courses. And they're very good courses.